Welcome to Masters of Max, a mobile app experience podcast. Please welcome your host, Tom Buda, Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer at Airship.
Well, today we have a great pleasure of talking with a good friend of actually Airship's, Lior Gross, who is with Caliente. Lior is on our customer advisory board, but more importantly is super experienced. What's interesting about Lior is that he represents the technical side of the work that we all do, and it's a great compliment, I think, to the typical guest, which tends to be in product or in marketing. So Lior, welcome to Masters of Max.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So perhaps you can just give us a little bit of your own history in your career, culminating in how you got to Caliente and what Caliente is all about.
I mean, I've always been interested in technology and software development. I actually have a bachelor's in economics and business management, which is totally different from computers. But I look at myself as a self-taught software engineer. Back when apps just started, I think my first iOS application was iOS 5 or 4. I can't remember.
Got it.
And that's how I got to where I am today. Just been making apps and combining that with the management skills that I've been learning. And today I manage more than 20 employees here in Mexico.
So Caliente, you tell us about Caliente.
Well, it's a very old Mexican brand of we're online gambling platform. But Caliente started way before the online have existed. It started from Tijuana. And they have branches all over Mexico. And at some point around 9 years ago, they decided to do a joint venture with another company called Playtech. Mm-hmm. And today we have over 400 employees all over Mexico. I was the first tech person in the company. I have more than 20 employees in my team. So we've grown a lot.
So you're responsible for DevOps teams. You're responsible for a 20-person, team of developers. How much interaction do you have across the business, like to the quote business side, to the product team, the marketing team, customer experience team?
To be honest, a lot more than I have interaction with my team. I have more interactions with the other teams in the business. And I think that's also what brought me to Caliente, and it's the challenge and the opportunity. Because, as I said, we started as a very small business. I was the first and only tech person in the business back then. And because of that, we kind of grew together, all like the product team or the product persons, because there was no team, the marketing persons.
So I would expect that because you guys seem to work so well together, and you have an appreciation for what each other does, that translates into a really, really good customer experience. Can I make that leap?
That's what we're trying to thrive for. Yeah, that's what we're pushing to get. Yes, always. And it's not just customer experience. It's when the product works with marketing and the marketing says, hey, you know what, we have some problem with our acquisition. Can we check if we've done anything in the product that has changed? Did my team make any changes that could have? And, we work together to resolve things, to find those issues, and to give our customers the best experience we can provide them with. So, for example, I wouldn't expect the head of marketing to understand what's a sprint when it comes to development and why it's going to take me 1 month to deliver a small change in a landing page. For them, it's, hey, we need it. It's marketing. We need it today. And for me, I was like, but this is a small change. Why does it matter? Why should I do it so fast? Why do you want me to put it off sprint? And now what's urgent about it? And those gaps that you were talking about, those kind of disappear because now I understand what is urgent for marketing without them needing to tell me. If there's a task that comes to my team and I get it from different sources, but this I know it's going to be urgent for marketing, I'm going to put it off sprint, or it's going to get a higher priority than the DevOps fixing something, even though the DevOps doesn't understand that. But it's also now, it's to give that knowledge to the employees, to teach the DevOps, to teach the web developers why it's important. My developers know to notice those things We have the great communications. We have the understanding of the whole business as a complete. And those gaps, like I mentioned, they're almost non-existent.
So let's shift into another topic here. How do you think AI might change the app landscape?
A lot of places say they do have or utilize AI for certain things, but the question is it really an AI or just a very sophisticated algorithm? So first of all, it's very important to look at that. But with those who do really have AI, I do think that at the end, yes, we will have a much more sophisticated apps and that will deliver much better user experience. So if we look at our industry, for example, sports betting, and let's say I love the NFL and I only bet on the NFL. But now the NFL season is over. What are the options that you're going to give me? So if we're looking at a sophisticated algorithm, it might give me college football, for example. But if you look at a person, if let's say a person will review this data and say, you know what, but this user did make some bets on NBA. We have more chance of him betting if we give him basketball now than if we give him college football, which he never bet on. So it's the way to think and the way to show the user to give him what he wants to see, for example. And it can be in a lot of other fields. For example, if we look at fraud prevention and fraud detection, algorithms are black and white, yes or no. They don't go other direction. Fraud teams, for example, we have a huge fraud team in Caliente, looking at bets, looking at transactions, looking at everything that is going on, because we need that manual intervention. We don't want to stop good players that our fraud rules or our nets kind of like catches them. We don't want those good players to be caught and then to prevent them from taking out their winnings or basically cashing out or depositing or betting. We don't want to prevent good players from doing that. But unfortunately, let's say the rule has 2% false positives alerts. And AI, I think, can much improve those and lower this false positives and even, reduce them to zero if possible.
Any trends you see ahead in the app world? You think that's really interesting?
Yeah.
Produced, live activities.
So that's actually something we're working on now. We're trying to not annoy the users, right? At the end of the day, if you send too many notifications, they'll just turn it off. If you send too many emails, on the best case, they'll unsubscribe. Worst case scenario, it'll just put you in spam, and then you start having problems with other customers that get the emails for spam as well. So I think those things if you implement them in the right way, they can be great. For example, instead of us telling you, hey, you just won this, what about following the game you just bet on as a live activity? But those are things that we're working on right now. It's to, I don't want to say minimize the way that the times that we try to approach our clients, but to give them a better experience using those new tools that are now in our hands.
You just bet on a game. Rather than have to go over here someplace else to actually see the game or at least get updates on the scores, why not have that occur right within your app? So you keep, it's making it stickier, you're adding more value.
Yeah, if your team is starting to lose, maybe an early cash out button, whatever we can do there. So we want to be less aggressive. We want to still give the best experience to our users. So obviously you can automate a lot when it comes to push notifications or any CRM. But with those features, it just will be great to have.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, this has been really great. I can understand why you add so much value to your team, because I think you have a very practical sense about you. It's also one that's grounded in being informed. And whether it's through continuous learning on your part or just as you point out, understanding what matters to your customers and having that be your point of focus no matter what. I think that's a great lesson for everybody to use. Yeah, Lior, thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom and thoughts. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here. It was my pleasure.